I'll be in verse 1 to start out. It says, the Bible says, the preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Every one that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand joined in hand, he shall not be unpunished. By mercy and truth iniquity is purged, and by the fear of the Lord men depart from evil. By way of introduction, I want to give you this. Is the title I was reading over here and I got was heart preparation. And that word heart, it's kind of your main organ. It's what pumps the blood, if you would, And with it being like that, it's kind of like, whenever somebody gets in a car wreck or something like that, the main thing to look for is a heartbeat. It's looking for something that's actually moving. Because without something beating inside of you, you're dead, and you ain't gonna have nothing. There ain't nothing there to have any kind of point of of liveness. It's all dead. But that other word, preparation, is the knowing of that, the knowledge of knowing something is coming or gonna happen, and the plan what to do when it does. If you could be lost or you could be saved here tonight, it's not going to matter. You're going to go through trials, and you're still going to have problems you go through. You're going to have losses of loved ones, and it ain't going to matter at that point. You just know something's going to happen. You know what? Since the only distance between heaven and hell is about a foot apart, the reason being is your heart from your head is about a foot. And with your head you think. That's where a lot of people think that they know another way, but there's only one way. Jesus himself said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man come to the Father but by me, by himself. He is the only way. I'm here to tell you that without him, there's no other way in. And with your heart, he says he knows the heart. With that first point being said, I'm going to give you this is commit and the comfort, Comfort, which is in verse number 20, which I'm not going to take for some take of. I'm not going to read it for time's sake. But as I look through there, I looked that word comfort up, which is to strength or put your mind at ease. And with that, there's the verse that Exodus 15:2. It talks about the Lord is my strength and song, and He's become my salvation. And it wasn't until I had this whole incident happen about with the whole trash truck thing that, I realized that the Lord is my strength. Without Him, I'm still in my prime, I didn't think nothing about jumping out of bed and going on and running on and doing what I was doing. I didn't think nothing about it. It wasn't until the day when I got up and I woke up, my eyes were open. I kind of rolled out of bed. That was about all I could do. And I just kind of laid there. It wasn't until, I was able to finally prop myself up. But if it wouldn't be, if it wouldn't be for what the Lord's done in my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. It wasn't until that whole incident happened that I actually realized that He is my strength. And with that, I got a lot to cover, and I got a little bit of time. I got to go. I'm going to just jump to the next one. My second point is going to be consider. And as we've seen that, I want you to consider this. That word consider is in the Bible 67 times, but the actual word it means is view attentively, fix mind on, or ponder. That it says, everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though the hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. That word abomination, I looked it up, it means extreme hatred. That word was in the Bible 76 times. And if we over there in Proverbs 6:16 through 19, it lists out a whole bunch of things. It says these 6 things does the Lord hate, and 7th is an abomination to Him. And with that being said, is it lists out all them things, but also some of the things that it listed out was hands that shed. It's 13 letters. Innocent blood is 13 letters. A false witness, 13 letters. Soweth discord, 13 letters. And as we all know, the 13 is the number of rebellion. Judas Iscariot, 13 letters. And then if you look at it, it's Proverbs 6:18, which if you add that all up, that's kind of pointed toward Judas Iscariot, that whole verse. But if you look at it, it's 6, 6, and 6, and that's all the mark of the beast. What that kind of say, if and devices, wicked imagination is 26 letters. And with it being 26 letters, it's 2 times 13. That's twice the amount of rebellion. And if you look in the first chapter of the Bible, in the very beginning in Genesis, and then you go all through there, you'll find where God said about God, and then you get to that verse number 13. God's gone. They ain't got a mention in the verse there at all. It's just like he stepped away. That's when it became that's the first time when you see it. And usually whenever you got a young child, I'm not no parent or nothing, but I noticed that once you hit back teenage years, I've heard all the time. Y'all that have kids and all, but I can kind of see it already just around by the way that everybody speaks of it. That's when they start rebelling against what the parents are saying to them. But what I mainly want to get to with this last few minutes is last one is commit. I looked that word up. It's to send or upon, to throw, pit, or lay upon, to entrust, pit in another's hands. And as you look through there, that 2 Timothy 2:3 it talks about endure hardness as a good soldier. That's where that whole chapter is about. Paul telling Timothy about you're gonna have times you're not gonna feel like doing something. You're gonna have times whenever you feel like the world's against me. I don't feel like getting up. I don't want to. You're gonna have times. I'm ashamed to admit it, but there's times that you don't feel like even getting up and reading. Your head will hurt. But there'll be times. It might be raining outside. There might be times that your body's aching. You're gonna go to church, but I tell you, every time I've had times where my head starts hurting or my head's pounding. Everything seems to go along. People call and say, hey, this happened. Hey, if you would just give up the ministry, you wouldn't have no problems. That devil put things in your head of saying, all you got to do is you can easily go back to the things that you used to do, and you won't have half the amount of problems that you got now. But the thing is, the reason why you got the problems now is because you're doing stuff for the Lord. If you stop living for Him, you wouldn't have them kind of things. It wouldn't be like that anymore. But I'm here to tell you, it's not going to matter. But the thing is, the main reason why it's a commitment now is because if you look over there, it talks about in Luke 9:6:1 through 6:2, it talks about you already put your hand to the plow. No man is fit for the kingdom of heaven. But the thing is you've already put your hand there. Me personally, I've already ran them. I've already put my hand in the plow. I've done my stuff. I've done it. And it never worked for me. I'm here to tell you now, don't worry. Don't run off there and go do that stuff. But if you already done it, why are you going to go turn your back on God and give it up and try and run back the same thing? Because it ain't ever going to be the same thing. You already know once it didn't work. It's bound again not to work again. I'll leave you this with Shammah over there in 2 Samuel 23. As he said, his hand clave to the sword. That means he fought until he couldn't fight no more. To that, his hand actually fit around that sword just like it. And if that ain't good enough for you, I ain't got nothing else.